French army was sent to the laboratory with dogs, machine guns to destroy all the research. They told him, you have to wait here, it's too late to see the judge, which is absolutely not due process. They had him spent the night in this room that they had, in which they had sent some gas. And 2 months later, my father was diagnosed with advanced myeloid leukemia.
They poisoned him.
Absolutely. My father was arrested. My mother also was arrested. I was able to take the case to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. It was the easiest win ever.
Wow.
The French government would rather get completely defeated in court rather than explain themselves. And we won an unanimous case, Beljanski against France.
You inspire me to be the higher me. You're my inspiration to creation.
שלום לכולם וברוכים הבאים לפודקאסט השראה להבראה. Welcome to my podcast Inspire to be higher.
Deep within, let your dreams begin.
So, hello everyone and welcome to the Inspire to be Higher podcast. I am Shira and today I am honored to welcome Sylvie Beljanski, a pioneering advocate in the field of integrative medicine and the author of the compelling book, Winning the War on Cancer, The Epic Journey Toward a Natural Cure. Sylvie is the daughter of the late Dr. Mirko Beljanski, a molecular biologist whose groundbreaking research challenged the conventional cancer paradigm and offered hope through natural, non-toxic treatments. Sylvie continues her father's legacy through the Beljanski Foundation, dedicated to advancing natural solutions for cancer and other chronic conditions, and she's here to share her incredible journey, insights into the challenges her father faced, and how his innovative work can inspire change in the healthcare landscape. So thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you for having me on. I'm delighted to be with you today.
Thank you so much. So please tell us the story of your father and then, of course, how you are continuing his wonderful legacy.
Sure. Indeed, I should start with my father. He had an incredible journey by himself. He was born in the 20s. He was born what is now Serbia. It was Yugoslavia at the time. And he had a nice voice as a little boy, but he was growing in a very poor family. He was the only boy, so the family really rallied to pay for sending him at least to middle school, elementary school. And because he had a nice voice, I mean, the priest, local priest said to the family, it would be worth sending him to continue to study, and I will take him as an altar boy to if he can continue to do his studies. Finally, my father was able, with his sister, sewing at night to make some money to pass his baccalaureate in Yugoslavia. And it was at that time, then it was just after Second World War II. And the students who were eligible for grants had a choice. If they had enough money to buy a fur coat, they were sent to Moscow. And if they did not, if they were too poor to afford a fur coat, they were sent to Paris. And that's how my father arrived in Paris to have his PhD at the Sorbonne in the late 40s. And he get his PhD. He barely did not speak French, but he passed his master, his PhD. He met my mom, who was from a good scientific family in Paris, and they got married. And he joined the Pasteur Institute. Maybe because he had, this kind of different background than the average PhD. He was thinking, let's say, out of the box. And at the time, the official paradigm for cancer research was that cancer could only result from a random mutation. That was the thesis that was promoted by the Pasteur Institute and his director of the time, who was Jacques Monod, and who wrote The Hazard and the Necessity. It's all about random mutations, like there is no will, no purpose to what happens. And my father made the observation that there is always a difference, always the same difference between healthy DNA and cancer DNA. And cancer DNA is always destabilized, meaning the two strands of the DNA are not kept together. And he said, if this happens again and again and again, and always, I mean, even if you look, to animal kingdom, plant kingdom, human kingdom, always the same kind of pattern of destabilization. It's not random. And he was one of the first scientists to look at the role of the environment and how the toxic environment can affect our DNA. From there, he created a test, which he called the OncoTest, which allowed him to evaluate the potential carcinogenicity of a number of molecules which are in our environment. And he was able to see how they affect the destabilization of the DNA. And once the destabilization starts, then what he also observed is that the turnover, the rate of duplication of the DNA increased a lot. Mm-hmm. And that's why cancer cells do duplicate much faster than healthy cells. And from there, he had the idea to turn his test the other way and to look for compounds that would do exactly the opposite, that would recognize this destabilized DNA and selectively block the duplication of cancer DNA without any effect on healthy DNA. And he said, if nature created carcinogens, probably created non-carcinogens and anti-carcinogens. And he used his test to screen for a number of molecules, and he found two. One is coming from Africa. It's called Revolfia vomitoria. The other one is coming from South America. It's called Pao Pereira. And he really observes that those two molecules are able to inhibit the growth of a number of cancer cell lines without any toxicity for healthy cells. So he published all those results. He tried to give these discoveries to patent to the Pasteur Institute, because he said, we have something here, non-toxic, that is really efficient against cancer cells. But the Pasteur Institute was absolutely not interested in something natural. So that was left like that he was left without a lot of money for his laboratory, and but he decided that, and it was too beautiful, it could help people. So he published everything, and he got the interest of a number of French doctors who started to use the products for the great benefits of their patients. And some doctors started to get, great reputation of being excellent healers of different kinds of cancers. thanks to the Beljanski products. And it is at that time that François Mitterrand, the former president of the French Republic, was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer. It was the beginning of his second term. Terms were 7 years at the time for French presidents. And the official prognosis was that there was no way the president would be able to finish his second term. But Mitterrand had a mistress who knew about a good doctor who was using the Beljanski products with good results on prostate. And that's how Mitterrand started to take the products. And against all odds, Mitterrand, and it was, very visible for all to see because he was the president of the Republic, started to get better and better. So that really disturbed a number of people where the proponent of official medicine did not want to hear that some natural compounds could do better than the official medicine that was given to the president. And shortly after Mitterrand finally passed away, because he was able to finish his second term, there was a SWAT team. There was the French army, a SWAT team. Okay. In French, we call that the GIGN, was sent to the laboratory with dogs, machine guns, and a full squadron of militaries to destroy all the research. They unplugged the fridges in which there were everything my parents had for the oncotest. They had, a bank of tissues that they had collected, healthy pieces of lung and cancer pieces of lung, healthy pieces of liver, cancer pieces of liver, all those tissues that allowed them to test if the product would respond to cancerous cells. And those barbarians just unplugged everything. Then they said that there was maybe some plutonium on the property. And they told my father to stay in a room. They sent some gas in that room. They told him, you have to wait here. It's too late to see the judge, which is absolutely not real due process.
Wow.
And they had him spent the night in this room that they had, in which they had sent some gas.
Wow.
And 2 months later, my father was diagnosed with advanced myeloid leukemia.
Wow. Wow. So they poisoned him.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I was a lawyer at the time. I'm a French lawyer by trade. I come from my mother's side of 5 generations of scientists. I said, stop here, the curse, no more scientists. I will do something else. I don't want to get involved into science, research, and so on. I'll go to law school. So I became a lawyer, and I was hired by a law firm in New York. And that's where I was when I learned that my father was arrested. My mother also was arrested. And the first thing I thought as a lawyer is I have to organize their legal defense. So, of course, I get and enlist the help of a local friend lawyer in Paris to see the file. But I was listed as a lawyer for the defense, and I had access like that to the file. And the more I was looking into the file, the more I realized that this was not about justice, that there was, in fact, a real effort to make the evidence disappear. And when we asked for an audience in court, it was rejected. Like they knew that my father was about to die because they had poisoned him, and they would not give him his day in court. And there was so many rejection that I was able to fast track. And despite the fact that there was no judgment rendered against my father in France, I was able to take the case to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. Generally, you have to wait until all the courts, all the judgments have been rendered that there is no more recourse possible. But in this case, it was so patent, they accepted to take the case. And I have to say that it took 4 years, but it was the easiest win ever.
Wow.
The French government did not care about defending themselves. They would rather get completely defeated in court rather than explain themselves. And we won an unanimous case, Beljanski against France.
Wow.
From there, I realized that was not good enough. A legal case comes and goes. I mean, there is another French condemnation, you know, nobody remembers that. It doesn't make a difference. Would not help support my father's legacy. And as a scientist, the most important to him was to continue this research to be alive, those products to continue to benefit to other people. So I decided, and now we are in my father passed in 1998, and in 1999 in New York City, I created the Beljanski Foundation, a non-for-profit dedicated to continue the research through partnerships with academic institutions to confirm first that my father's findings, and then take them even further with new methodology, new method. So over the years, we were able to work on prostate cancer. That was the easiest because of Mitterrand. I mean, it was easy to find a urologist who would be interested by this fait divers, the presidential fait divers. And we had from Columbia University a confirmation that those extracts were indeed able to inhibit cancer cells, different stages of cancer cells, from inflammation, full-blown cancer, advanced cancer that do not respond to hormonotherapy anymore. So we were able to cover that. And one day, Dr. Katz from Columbia University was speaking about those results of his team. And I was seated next to a lady who said, "That's amazing. Do you have something for women?" And I said, "Of course, the same thing, because it's not gender or organ dependent. It recognizes the destabilized DNA wherever it's located."
The mechanism, it doesn't matter which type of cancer it is.
Exactly. Men, women, it doesn't matter. And that's how we started to work with Kansas University Medical Center on ovarian and then pancreatic cancers. And then we were able also to confirm it was working also on those cancer cells, and also in synergy with chemotherapies. That's something that my father had already shown. My father was not against chemotherapy. He understood that, you know, that's a gold standard. And why you have forced people to choose? He would rather show the synergy of action, and because chemotherapies very often participate to the destabilization, actually, of the DNA when they are a very low dosage. And that's what he was able to see with his oncotest. So actually, the chemotherapy reinforces the results of the little extracts. And when the chemotherapy doesn't work, the little extracts continue to work. So even when you have cells which are chemo-resistant, the little extracts continue to work. And everything was published. Everything is available on the website of the Beljanski Foundation, which is beljanski.org in English and beljanski.info in French. And lately we said, if this were able to do so much, is it also, would those little plant extracts also be able to work on cancer stem cells? Cancer stem cells, it's really the last frontier now. Those cells are the embryonic cancer cells, which resist chemotherapy. And that's very, very important to understand. They are very aggressive, they resist chemotherapy. So when the doctor says, oh, you are doing well, the tumor is shrinking, actually it is the mature, less aggressive cells which are destroyed. And the embryonic, immature, very aggressive cells, they can stay for a very long time in the blood and be kind of sleeping somewhere in the body and then be reactivated a few years later. And so that's why cancer stem cells are thought to be responsible for metastasis and recurrence of cancer. So this is really something you want to hear from day one of the diagnosis. Most people here, they are never told about cancer stem cells when they go through cancer until the cancer comes back. But why everybody should try to address those cancer stem cells from the beginning. Why let those stem cells fester for a year or two? Maybe, the one sentence worse than you have cancer is the cancer is back. When your immune system has been damaged, when you have been, through all the ups and downs of the therapy once, the last thing you want is to go through that again with no difference. For the result, it's the same therapy which is being offered. So if it did not work once, why would it work better the second time? It's really hoping for a different result while doing the same thing. It's a definition of insanity. And so we tested at Kansas University Medical Center those little plant extracts, Paupera, Rauwolfia, vomitoria, on ovarian and pancreatic cancer cells. And it was working in vitro and in vivo. Wow. And we did the research on mice, and there was really no side effect. Again, no metastasis was observed. And the compounds, we were very careful to give them by gavage to the animals 5 times a day, exactly like people who would take capsules, because you don't want, to do studies with blood through the blood, and then people are using another mechanism of absorption. You want to do something that, can be replicated. And we had those beautiful results. It was, a small study, but after that, I said, okay, we have to do a large study first on breast cancer stem cells and see if we can help a lot of women use those products. From day one. there is all those marches, in October all around the world for the end of breast cancer. I mean, did some research. I mean, those marches have been organized since the 80s. And
No improvement. No
and no, I mean, there is more and more breast cancer, actually.
Yeah.
And nothing has been done for recurrences, metastasis. There is a better understanding that, there are some products that can induce breast cancer, and we can speak of prevention and mercury in deodorants and all those kind of things. But about the treatment, it's still cutting, burning, and radiating.
Yeah.
And there is a tendency to call mammograms prevention, which is not prevention, it's detection, but it's not. It can help to have, of course, early detection, but it's not at all prevention. And there is nothing done about prevention. When you are taking, those little supplements, they are able to recognize precancerous cells.
The supplements are able to recognize
precancerous cells at the level of inflammation, absolutely.
Oh,
And prevent that the destabilization of the DNA to happen.
okay.
Our body creates a lot of cells every day, and some of them are abnormal.
Yeah.
And if we have a good immune system, the immune system is able to do the police and get rid of those which are abnormal.
Yes.
If your immune system is defective, you are going to allow those abnormal cells are not going to be properly recognized, identified, and eliminated. And that's when those little plant extracts, if you take them, from time, you don't have to take them all year long, but 2 months, twice a year, this will help your body to get rid of everything which is abnormal, and can help do a lot for prevention. They can help support during the treatment, and that can help also people to prevent cancer to come back. And so now I have been doing that. I told you I created the foundation in 1999. So that's going to be 25 years.
Wow.
I started because when I went to my father's funeral, I saw all those people coming to me, telling me, without your dad, I would not be here. I would not have been able to walk my daughter down the aisle. I would not have been able to hold my grandchildren. And since for the past 25 years, that I've heard those stories again and again and again. And it's not easy to do that. I mean, to find the funding, to continue the research, to continue to make those products available. It's not easy, but it's so much worth it.
Definitely. Everything that your father went through and that you went through in order to get his day in court, did it make you want to fight the establishment afterwards, or did you say, I had enough with that, I just want to preserve his legacy? Because what they did to him is, I'm sure he's not the only one. I'm sure.
Oh, no. There are a lot of scientists. As soon as they find something which is different and is working, if it is the conventional establishment is going after them and is trying to destroy their work and their reputation before it is confirmed by other people. And you see that again and again and again.
I think
And
the public is not aware of this. Can you explain why they do it?
It happens all around the world. It's not just in France. There has been examples in the US, for example, Nicolas Gonzalez. There has been examples in Canada. There has been, there have been a number of examples. Every time something could create an viable alternative to conventional medicine and official treatments of cancer, the scientist is being destroyed, and before the work can be confirmed. So they are presented as lunatics, lone wolf, that whose work is never confirmed, and it's just was not really scientific to work with. And the proof is that it was never confirmed. But the fact is that they destroyed the scientists before it could be confirmed. What happened is my father is that there was a second generation.
Yes.
And they did not see that coming, that a lawyer would turn into, in another country, in the States, would start this foundation and create a network with scientists. And that was not anticipated by the French government. That's for sure.
Yes, yes. This is the twist here in your story, because usually what happens is, like you described, that the lab is being raided and the reputation is being destroyed, and that's it. The public doesn't hear about this. And you came in and you gave it a different ending, which is so amazing, I think, and really something inspiring, because you fought back. It was so difficult, of course, to go through all of this, but you didn't give up. And that's so different than what we usually see.
I did not give up because I saw how much it was helping people. And if I had given up, it would, in a way, my father would have died twice.
Mm.
So the French government never acknowledged. They lost in court. They never apologized. They never acknowledged anything. And I think it's a lost cause. I am not going to spend my life trying to get something I will never have. I would rather say, you know, my success will be somewhere else. My success will be through all the people that can still benefit from this research, and through all the scientific publications that I can be enable to collect. And because the scientific confirmation, science has to be confirmed. That's really, really important. And that's why I wanted to get that done through academic institutions. Once it's coming from Columbia University, nobody is going to say, hey, it was never confirmed, or it was a hocus pocus alleged by a lone wolf. No, it's not possible.
Yes, yes. So this is the victory. First of all, to have it confirmed by the establishment itself. And also the second thing is to retell the story and publish, make it public, so that the people will know how these things work, because they don't know. They don't.
Absolutely. And communicate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so thank you for having me on this podcast, because
I love
communication.
Yes, yes. And I want to ask you something that I ask all my guests. It's two things, really. What inspires you? And also, what inspiration do you hope to instill in others?
Oh, what inspired me is really the feedback of the people who are helped. I mean, all those little notes, all those thank you notes. I mean, that's really what gives me the strength to carry on, because indeed sometimes it's not easy, and I've been now doing that for 25 years. I'm not a young lady anymore, and what I am trying is to create a third generation. I don't have kids myself, but I have surrounded myself with a team of younger people, 20 years younger than me, who are intelligent, willing, able, who understand also the value of what we are doing. And I trust them for carrying this torch and be the third generation.
Beautiful. And I want to ask you, we are now in very different days. You are in the States, and now
Yes,
there is a
I'm
new
in New York.
administration, and there is talk of really bringing these kind of the corruption of Big Pharma to the front by Kennedy. So what do you think? Is there hope to really untangle this mess?
Look, the Big Pharma corruption is something very, very real. And if somebody is able to dismantle that a little bit, I mean, that would be great. I hope they are not going to destroy Kennedy, because that would be the first thing. I mean, I think they would do. It is the same, Big Pharma, it's the same companies that they are employing the same people that the tobacco industry a few decades ago. The same kind of experts for pharmaceutical companies, food companies, and tobacco companies. It's about making people dependent, clients for life, and not really bringing them a solution that will give them well-being, and then they allow them to go on with their life without the product. Every time you have the same pattern of creating dependency. And you have one drug which has side effects, you need to buy another one. And those drugs are not really addressing the issues. They are just very often just numbing the symptoms. So you run into other problems. And I hope that they are going to allow him to do something. I would be very, very surprised if he could achieve a lot, because corruption is running so deep, and it's not something just American. Those companies are global, and they have the same. They do the same thing around the world. So I really hope there will be some improvement, but I would hold my breath.
Yes, yes. After seeing what they did to your father, and everything, including actually murdering him.
Absolutely.
We hope that this will not be the case today, with the little awakening that is happening, and we hope it will end differently this time.
I would like to make a plea. You are located in Israel, right?
Yes,
And your listeners are mostly in Israel, right?
yes, yes.
So I would like to make a call for action. Very unfortunately, and because of corruption and the network of the Pasteur Institute in France, those molecules, Pauperia, Wolffia vomitoria, have been listed as dangerous plants and cannot be imported in Israel. And so if somebody listens and has a proper connection, and you think that it can help people in Israel, please do something about it. I know that there are people in Israel who have connection around the world and are able to ship. We get ships products to Paris and or Rome or whatever, and then it is shipped from there as an individual little package to Israel. But it doesn't make sense. The research is there. I would love to be able to help facilitate every recognition of those molecules. We are speaking 25 years ago. There are loads of publications now, and stop having those products ridiculously listed as dangerous, because they are not.
Excellent. I really hope this falls on the right ears and something wonderful will happen. Amen. So
Thank you.
thank you so much. I'm really inspired by this story and the way that you dealt with this legacy, the way you are honoring your father by your brave work. And I wish you success. Just continue to fight the good fight for us all. And thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you on the next episode.
תודה שהייתם איתנו עד סוף הפרק. אני מקווה שמצאתם השראה בתוכן של היום. אם נהניתם, אני מבקשת שתשתפו את הפרק הזה אפילו רק עם בן אדם אחד. כך נוכל להפיץ יותר תקווה, ריפוי ושינוי חיובי בעולם. למידע נוסף אתם מוזמנים לבקר באתר שלי shiramed.com. תודה, וניפגש בפרק הבא.